Welcome to BioBites with Matt once again. You see, in nature, living things always have needs. The needs could be shelter, it could be food, it could be something else. And oftentimes, these needs are things that they cannot get all by themselves. They have to depend on other living things to get their needs met. It is this dependence on other living things that brings about associations. Living things are always associating with each other. I want to talk about these associations. What are the various kinds of associations that we find among living things? There are three major associations we have in ecology. The first one is mutualism. The second one is parasitism. And the third one is commensalism. Now let's look at them one after the other. Let's begin with the first one, mutualism. The word mutualism comes from the root word mutual. Mutual is an English word that describes something that is shared equally between two people, between two things, two living things. So when something is mutual, it has to benefit both parties. Mutualism is a situation, is an association whereby two living things benefit from their association. Two living things benefit from their association. Example is a rhino. These rhinos and oxpecker birds. These birds are called oxpecker birds. On these rhinos, there are ticks. Alright, these tiny arachnids called ticks. These ticks often cause harm to the rhinos. Now, there are these birds called the oxpecker birds that come, perch on the bodies of the rhinos and feed on the ticks. What is going on there? The bird is benefiting food from the rhino, and the rhino is benefiting pest removal. Can you see that? They are both benefiting from each other. That is a typical example of mutualism. Another good example of mutualism is fungi and algae in lichens. You see, lichens are a combination of fungi and algae. The fungi in that association provide protection and water. The algae, because they have chlorophyll, are able to provide food via photosynthesis. You see the mutualism there? They are both benefiting from that association. Fungi and algae in lichens. Now let's talk about the second one, parasitism. The word parasitism is from the root word parasite. A parasite is an organism that harms the other organism it's in close association with. So, parasitism talks about an association of living things where one organism benefits from that association while the other organism is being harmed. One good example of parasitism is the association between ticks and dogs. You see, the ticks feed on blood, that's what they gain. So they gain the blood from the dogs, and the dogs often suffer irritation or even diseases. Another example of parasitism is mosquitoes and humans. The mosquitoes get blood for reproduction, while we humans often feel itching and the disease malaria. The third type of association is the one we call commensalism. So commensalism is a relationship where one organism benefits while the other one is neither helped nor harmed. So you're not helping me, you're not harming me, you're fine. That's commensalism. One good example of commensalism is the relationship between the remora fish and the shark. Alright, now these remora fish are very small. Of course, you know the shark is very big. Remora fish attaches itself to the shark. It benefits shelter, locomotion, transport, and of course, the major thing it benefits there is food, because of course sharks are big eaters, so they drop leftovers. These leftovers are more than enough for the remora fish to enjoy. In the meantime, the shark is not affected, doesn't care. It's neither harmed nor helped, and that is an example of commensalism. A second example to consider is barnacles and whales. The barnacles get a place to live, they get shelter and transport, while the whales are generally unaffected. So the bottom line is this: in mutualism, both parties benefit. In parasitism, one benefits, the other is harmed. In commensalism, one benefits and the other is neither helped nor harmed. So that is it for associations in biology. See you some other time. Keep learning.